So we are getting ready to get underway here from Raymond James Stadium, Tampa, Florida, as the Tampa Bay Lightning host the Boston Bruins. And thanks to hockey fans around the globe, wherever you may be watching, and the fans are revved up here. Referee waiting to get the cue to drop the biscuit. And I'll tell you, Mike, this place is packed. There is no empty seats. I look around. It is just packed to the gills.
You know what? It was pretty full here way before warm-ups, too. So everybody got here early. Just going to soak this all in, but what an atmosphere.
And it couldn't be a more perfect evening. It's like cold, but not too cold. And like I look up, and there's a full moon over the like it was almost like they just turned it on. It's part of the just another prop.
That's part of the NHL delivering on this promise.
They are. I'll tell you, they've done an unbelievable job. So we're underway, and the Lightning on the attack. Right out of the gate, and there's a shot, and they score! 11 seconds in! It's Hagel! Wow!
First shot right up the gut.
And you can see Brandon Hagel is fired up as well as 60,000 plus. And he's just G to G, up the wall. Nikita Kucherov, one of the heads he played to hold on to that puck, EJ, just to buy some extra time. And this shot is just wired over the high blocker of Swayman.
So, Mike, I would say Lightning has struck!
And he has.
Here at Raymond James Stadium.
What a start.
Hagel with the goal just 11 seconds into this one. And we'll have to put Brandon Fausch, our researcher. There it is, 11 seconds. Fastest goal to begin an outdoor game. Thank you, Brandon, appreciate that. I thought it might be. It's pretty quick.
I think the one prior was Colby Armstrong in that Buffalo-Pittsburgh game.
First Winter Classic.
Yeah.
Here's a chance to the net, turned aside by Swayman. So Hagel striking his 26th goal of the season for the Saskatoon native. And the Tampa Bay Lightning jump out to the early, and I mean early lead. Puck now gets dumped into the corner. Lightning trying to play it up the wall. Patra there, 51 in the bright gold. Puck comes in front. Tanner Jeannot just fans on that one, a former member of the Lightning. Puts a big hit on the Lightning players over around the wall. Puck comes down the other end and peaks behind the net. It's it to Zadorov, up to Patra. And now just fired back in by the Bolts.
They got their legs here. You can see the Tampa Bay Lightning jumping and feeding off that quick start.
That puck comes off the stick and cleared out of the zone. How does the boards and the ice look to you? Just quick thought, Mike, on that. Does it look like there's any issue, or does it look clean?
It looks good. I think the one thing that you just don't know, and if you're approaching this as a player, you have to prepare that the ice is going to get worse as the game goes on. So just maybe some simplifying as this game proceeds. But I mean, if you're Boston, you want to get to your game, which is an offensive game at times.
Now we're getting a whistle and an icing. So here it is. Take a look at this, Mike. Here's Hagel right off the draw.
So I watched Nikita Kucherov's patience on the wall. Grabs this, hangs on, that step to the middle, and then makes that backhand pass. Kind of a little bit of an unclean play as that puck, it seems like it's up for grabs until Hagel grabs it. But that whole, not many players are going to make that play to Nikita Kucherov.
They're probably just going to dump that puck in and get on the forecheck.
And Fraser Minten, the young centerman for the Bruins, maybe could have been harder on that stick, but you know, it's so early in the game and the puck is bouncing around there, you're probably not anticipating he's going to make that kind of good shot.
Yeah, it was a heavy shot.
Tough one for Swayman to start the game right off the pipe. And here they come again, the Lightning. This time it gets turned over. Bruins coming the other way. Arvidsson, the Swedish native, wides and fire stop there by Vasilevsky. Arvidsson with a good look. Puck bouncing around in the neutral zone. Cirelli going to chase it over by the wall and just chip it in. Swayman plays behind the net, leaves it for McAvoy. Long stretch ahead. Goes up in the air off the glass behind Vasilevsky. Comes into the slot, quick chance, turn back. Puck comes up the wall, Lightning try to get it out, and now Hedman takes a look, tries to slide it through. And then Girgensson spins and backhands one towards the net that Swayman holds on to.
That is a look.
That is the look. And he approves of the start of this game.
They win tonight. Maybe he's got to bring that look back indoors as well.
Can you imagine? Teams that
And the assistant coaches got the, they have a little bit
they got a little flavor.
similar look.
We got a little stat here of the teams that score first in outdoor games, 27, 12, and 5. So it serves them well,
to say the least.
Game time temperature here, they just put it up on the board, 41.8 degrees. But with little breeze, it feels a little bit cooler than that. But a perfect night for outdoor hockey. Puck in the neutral zone. Now McDonough. Ryan McDonough, he's played in 5 of these outdoor games.
5-0.
5-0.
Right? He's the good luck charm.
He is the outdoor whisperer. Puck gets played back to McDonough. Gonna take a look. Teams make some changes.
That's what's so impressive with this team. You mentioned Ryan McDonough. We spoke about in the open there, Victor Hedman. Their decor has been so solid all year without those two for the most part. Eric Chernak. Like if you take any teams and you take their 3 best defensemen out, you're not thriving. This team has thrived, and I just give a ton of credit to the players, but also the coaching staff for putting players in a position to succeed.
And most namely has been Darren Radish as that chance turned back. Radish, I mean, talk about a guy that, really has flown under the radar in his career. 29 years old, he's got 47 points in 46 games coming into this one. And there's a chance of the net on a follow-through. That stick hit McAvoy up high.
So generally on these follow-throughs,
That's what you can see the lips
they don't
there.
call them like that usually.
Yeah. So we saw Guentzel talking about the follow-through. The referees are having a chat. Here's another look, Mike.
I mean, that's clearly the follow-through. That generally is not a penalty.
17, minor penalty for high sticking.
So the call is a high stick on Dominic James.
And so the Boston Bruins will go to the power play. There's another look. Maybe because that stick got caught up there after the follow-through.
You know what? I think the follow-through did not hit him. It's when he brought his stick back to go to the ice that I think it ends up hitting Charlie McAvoy at like the top of his chest or bottom of his neck. So I don't know if that's the workaround on the follow-through. It wasn't the initial one, but Tampa goes to the penalty kill.
And now the referee is going to come over to the scorer's table, see if there's any change to that. Apparently not the case, so we are going to play on. The Bruins will go to the power play. First power play opportunity of the game.
Quick shot towards the net, just goes wide. And now we get another whistle, and we're going to get another penalty. Looks like this one's going to be on Arvidsson. So just like that, the power play for the Bruins will come to an end, and we'll play some 4-on-4 hockey as Arvidsson will head to the box. Here's the call.
Boston 71, minor penalty for tripping.
So a tripping penalty on Arvidsson, Mike. Take a look.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really see much wrong with that. He's battling for position. I don't see him really getting involved with Ryan McDonough. I don't know, maybe his back leg kind of looks like it gets behind Ryan McDonough on the
other replay. So no neither coach
Probably very happy.
team really liked either call, but nonetheless, we're going to play 4-on-4 hockey. There is a shot by Cirelli, stopped by Swayman.
They're 4-on-4 right now. And it's a lot of.
Marco Sturm not happy at all.
No.
I don't think that was German that he was speaking there, for reading his lips, but nonetheless, we play on. McAvoy starts it up for the Bruins. 4-on-4 hockey. The Bruins tied for the most goals 4-on-4 in the league. They have 4 this year in these circumstances, so we'll see if they can use this to their advantage. The Lightning will have a very brief power play at the end of the penalty to Dominic James. Here's Hagel. Up the ice, now spins back. Drops it back for Radish. Radish had an assist on that goal by Hagel to start the game. So another point for Darren Radish.
It's just a great story.
Here's Hedman now with it in the slot, but couldn't get a grip on it. Goes all the way around up high. Knocked back down below the goal line. They go low to high. Hedman across. Down the wall. And now the Bruins are going to come the other way. Pass across to Pastrnak. Pulls up. Pastrnak tries to throw it back through. Good play there by Gensel. Now the puck gets turned over again. Bruins come back with it. Pastrnak through the middle. Shot by Minton goes wide. And the puck comes out of the zone. Zadorov. 15 seconds left in the 4-on-4 play, and then that short 5-second power play, and now we get another whistle.
He could do a little bit of everything for you.
So he has the Bolts on the board. Goal 11 seconds into this game to electrify this packed house at Raymond James Stadium, scoring the fastest goal in the history of outdoor play in 45 games. There's a chance to the net, stopped by Vasilevsky, and he holds on as Arvidsson came charging off the wing towards the cage, but Vasilevsky keeps it out.
Arvidsson did. He was coming downhill, receives that pass, gets a quick shot. Like his ability to follow up there too in case Vasi let up a rebound. At his best, that's what he's doing.
Bruins win the draw. McAvoy again, get it up high to Pastrnak, tries to throw it through, gets blocked. Pastrnak gets it back, shovels a backhand, but good play by Gord, but now kept alive by the Bees. Kuzadinov throws it back through, bounces around in the slot, and just cleared out of the zone. Bruins right back on it. Pastrnak gets dumped. There's a shot. It's going to be a penalty on the play, and now the net comes off the moorings. Looks like that penalty for tripping Pastrnak. It's like Holmberg will be headed to the box.
And David Pastrnak makes that cutback move and gets taken down.
Tampa Bay 29, minor penalty for tripping.
But the Bruins, the last couple minutes, have really started to connect on their passes, hitting stride a little bit, and that one's a penalty all day long. Now you're going to see what they were hoping was going to be a power play last time before the Arvidsson trip that negated that. This is a fun power play. They got some weapons here, and they've got some shooters.
Bruins power play comes into the league 4th best in the National Hockey League, 26.8%. Tampa Bay's penalty killers, not bad either, 2nd best in the league,
84.6 success rate. Puck is fired around the wall, but not out. Bruins getting to their set, thrown towards the cage, knocked to the corner. Cirelli tries to get it out. It's in skates, and finally he does get it out to center ice. The puck gets very softly dumped back to Swayman, who moves it to Arvidsson. Across now, Minton. Fired in by Geekie. Around the wall it comes, but it eludes the Bruins, and out of the zone it comes all the way back. It'll be played by Swayman behind the net. McAvoy with it. Long stretch ahead to Pastrnak. Sends it back. Here's Minton. Looks to gain the zone and does. A little dump to himself in the corner. Takes a big hit there. Puck battling around in front of the net. They try to get it into the front. Arvidsson couldn't handle it. Now he's got it again. Victor Arvidsson, McAvoy throws it towards the cage. Minton was there, couldn't get a piece of it, and now out of the zone it comes. 55 seconds left on the power play. Zadorov drops it. Husadinov sliding through. Marat Husadinov. Puck goes off his stick into the middle, and now Cirelli the other way. Cirelli with Hagel. Cirelli looks, fires, stopped by Swayman. Good chance there by the Lightning. Bruins coming the other way. Pastrnak to Lohrei. Spins back. Lohrei holding, throws it up high. Pastrnak shoots it through, just wide of the net. Looks like that might have been a shot pass towards the cage. Bruins keep it alive. Shot to the net. Stop. Rebound. Couldn't get much on it there. And now the penalty winding down. One more chance by Middlestat. Turned back by Vasilevsky. And penalty is over. And the Bolts have killed it off.
I did like the point of emphasis with just getting pucks on that. I mean, we saw it at the end of that power play right there for the most part, but even earlier on, just unable to sustain some pressure, but getting shots. I think that was an objective that they wanted to accomplish here.
Edmund kept that puck alive. But now the Bruins look to regroup. James puts the body on the Bruin forward. The puck comes up the wall and out of the zone. Played a little bit more than 10 minutes here in period number 1. Brandon Hagel has the only goal. Scored 11 seconds in. Terrific shot off the bar and in past Swayman. Here's Zadorov back in his own end for the Bruins. Long stretch ahead off the stick of Jeannot. Bruins will get a change. Radish goes back behind the Bolts net. Mike, I think Darren Radish is in a position to really ring the cash register in the offseason.
Oh yeah, big time. Big time. I mean, he's adding to it every day.
There's a shot from Radish, blocker down by Swayman. Long stretch ahead. Corrali with a shot goes wide. Now the Bruins hold the puck in. They throw to the middle, they score! And it's Steeves. Alex Steeves right in the middle. Rips one home.
9th goal of the season, and the Bruins have tied it. It's 1-1. Sometimes you need your 4th line to get you going, and the little spinorama by Isimok was awesome. You're gonna watch him grab this puck. You'll see him right along the wall. He's gonna bat this down, will spin, and then go to the net and make a beautiful feed to Steeves. And Isimon, against his former squad, was able to set that one up, and that will end a 15-game goal drought for Alex Steeves.
The first goal since December the 23rd against Montreal.
He had a really good start at the beginning of the season, and then kind of, you know, this league's hard. It's hard to be consistent to score, and so it's big to get him going and get some depth scoring here for the Bruins.
His first really good opportunity in the NHL, Mike. You know, he's bounced around a little bit. He's only played, this is his 37th game with the Bruins, 51st career game this year. The 9 goals and 15 points now. Those are career bests already. So to your point, confidence to know that you can play in the league consistently, and he's trying to find that.
And that's the other part too, is that the Boston Bruins, the way they are built, there's David Pastrnak, who is a superstar. There's Morgan Geekie, who is just a budding, absolute goal scorer. But after that, it's by committee. So everyone feels like they've got a piece, some equity in this, and I think that is something that you got to give this coaching staff credit to, giving these players an opportunity to believe that they matter on this squad.
There was a one-time shot, just kind of fluttered over the cage. Puck goes behind the net. Bolts get an extra body in there. Yanni Gourde kept alive by the Bruins, though. Husadinov Tries to backhand it down the wall. Goes behind to Pasternak, holding off Cernak. Tried to slip it through to Huzadinov in front, but just couldn't get it there. And now the Lightning regroup behind their own net. McDonough threw it back off the wall to Cernak.
The Bruins in a compromising position here without Lindholm and without Zacha. The center ice is a little thin right now, so
opportunity for others. Like Matt Patra, you see 51, just back up playing his second game this season. Been in the American League, but gets called up with those injuries. Chance to the net, just goes wide on the short side. Patra playing in his 68th career NHL game, and the door pops open. Puck comes up high off the draw, stopped by Swayman. He pushes it to the corner. Puck comes around. Tampa tries to go low to high, but Steves is on it, and he starts it out. Just fires it in. Puck bouncing around behind the net. Goes up in the air. Pretty good hard hit there. Delivered by Steves as he finished that one on Carlisle behind the net. Steves also, you saw that graphic, 122 hits coming in. And here's a chance by Bjorkstrand, and what a nice glove save by Swayman as he flashes to Leather, and then Bjorkstrand getting involved. I'm just grabbing him, says Alex Steves.
Just giving a little shot, Bjorkstrand to Zadorov. I mean, I know there's a full moon out each, but that seems like a bit of a mismatch. That maybe just want to get your team going a little bit and try to get a little bit of a spark.
Good look by Bjorkstrand, though, and a really equally good save by Swayman. Take a look at the overhead here.
I love the treasure map. How good is that?
That's terrific. Got to pay a visit to Kucherov Cove.
What's up, boys? That Flyers jersey in the stands. Welcome all hockey fans. It don't matter.
Yes, we do.
Well, you mentioned Steves. I remember I was speaking to Billy Jaffe yesterday about him, and he was saying that he's made a commitment of taking the body more, that wasn't necessarily part of his game. And you can see on that graphic that
we showed earlier, he's done just that. Now you've got to roll. Now you've got to roll that you can play for your team.
And Mike, you know, having played in the league for, many years, different teams, different situations, you've got to make yourself valuable. Make yourself wanted, and he's done that here so far in Boston.
Every player comes in the league that has been a goal scorer or whatever level they've played at. And you realize real quickly, I'm not David Pasternak. I'm not Nikita Kucherov. What can I do to make myself different from others? And as soon as you're willing to not be stubborn with that, you're giving yourself a chance to play in the National Hockey League for a long time.
Teams battle on the wall. Moser with it. Backhand pass. Nice play by Kucherov. Tried to do a spinning backhand. Now his pass comes through and it's deflected out of the zone. He always seems to know where everybody on the ice is, Mike.
And he doesn't, I say this in a positive way, he doesn't have a conscience of what could happen if not. And I think that gives him so many looks. And you got to give him that freedom. He's one of the most talented players in the league as far as seeing the ice. Just throws the thing, and usually it's right on the money.
McAvoy to the net, and that one goes in! It eluded Vasilevsky.
It was a tricky shot. Might have been deflected by Geekie. Vasilevsky just couldn't handle it, and the Bruins take a 2-1 lead.
Sometimes you got to get ugly ones, and this is right against the wall. Charlie McAvoy, it's a great idea because you're looking at how many bodies are around that net. This ends up getting deflected. Watch 5-hole, right between the legs there. Hits off the inside leg of Vasilevsky. It squeaks through. Headsy play by Charlie McAvoy, seeing bodies in front. That body is Morgan Geekie.
So another point for Morgan Geekie. He's got points in his last 7. That's his 6th goal in his last 7th game, 31st on the season.
And the Boston Bruins, who got hit by lightning in the first 11 seconds, have kind of regained and kept their composure, and now they have the lead. It's 2-1. Moser with it. Stretch ahead off the stick of Gord. Cleared out of the zone by the Bruins, and now the Lightning will regroup.
EJ, remember last year when Morgan Geekie kind of burst on the scene with 33 goals? And everybody was saying that it was just the results of playing with David Pastrnak. He's got 31 right now. He's playing with Pasta tonight, but he's had stretches of not playing with him. This guy is just showing that he is a natural goal scorer.
I mean, he's got a chance to get 50 goals this season. And you're right. I mean, I remember when he came in with Carolina, Mike, he scored 3 goals in his first 2 games. And it was kind of right before COVID, and he kind of bounced around there. He fell out of favor in Carolina, went to Seattle. I think it was in the expansion draft. For some reason, Seattle didn't feel they wanted to keep him. Boston jumped on him, and he's really found his way.
He can shoot absolute lasers.
Now we got a whistle. We're going to get another penalty here.
Tampa Bay penalty number 59. 2 minutes for tripping.
And rotate around together.
There's a chance in front. Oh, big stop by Vasilevsky as Arvidsson was on the doorstep. Great pass from Pastrnak. And Vasilevsky.
Mark that one. What a save.
Brilliant stop. Victor Arvidsson's not going to miss too many from there, Mike.
Oh, beautiful feed, and that's what we're talking about with Vasi. He's got those reflexes and that size. Just get across and kick that one away.
Give credit to Fraser Minnan, who won that draw clean. There's another chance now to the net, knocked away and cleared out of the zone. Puck ahead. Here come the Bruins again. Arvidsson in the corner. He's taken in for a ride. Puck comes to Pastrnak, up high. McAvoy. Thrown down to Arvidsson, just out of his reach. Pastrnak coming in. Minton is there. Back down the wall to Pastrnak, up high. Gets to McAvoy. Thrown through, deflection, and they score! And this time, Arvidsson does get the job done in front.
On the deflection, a power play goal for the Bruins, and now they lead it 3-1.
I don't wait till we see this replay. That shot looks like it's going way wide. Victor Arvidsson tips it back. And the recognition by the Boston Bruins a couple different times, just seeing bodies in front and getting the puck there. I mean, that puck is going far side wide by a good stretch. But the recognition of, I have a teammate in front of the net, I just got to get it in the vicinity of the net. Let him do the rest, and that deflection by Victor Arvidsson was perfect.
So Arvidsson on the power play with a sweet deflection, the Swedish native with his 14th on the season. Well, let's take a look here if there was any kind of goalie interference on this play. He does kind of bang into Vasilevsky, but
The Lightning are not going to challenge, and the Bruins are going to have a 3-1 lead as we come inside 2 minutes to play here in period number 1. Cirelli takes a bump in the neutral zone. Here's a chance to the net. Patra stopped by Vasilevsky, and he holds on. Matthew Patra just coming right down the right side, and the Bruins, they've turned it up a few notches, Mike.
They have. They certainly have. I think if you're John Cooper and the Tampa Bay Lightning, you need to put 2 shifts together in the offensive zone. You see right here this hit by Kastelik.
Yeah.
The big boy using his body. Nice, clean, solid hit at center ice.
I love seeing those, Mike. I mean, that's old school. Bend your knees, drop your shoulder, shoulder-to-shoulder contact. I mean, that's good hard hockey.
Yeah, just he's perfect separating the player from the puck, and your team gets it.
Here's a chance to the net by Jeannot. Ends up back behind the net for Victor Hedman. Throws it up the wall, and out of the zone he comes. Puck comes down towards Swayman, and he'll glove it. Got a stoppage, and now
A little bit of a scuffle there in the corner. And now it's getting a little bit more feisty in there. Carlisle's in the mix. Kastelik, those guys are in a chit-chat.
And Kastelik's gonna be in the middle of a lot. We saw him with that hit a minute ago. And that's the thing with the Boston Bruins. They've got some meat and potatoes in this lineup. They're okay and they're comfortable playing that way.
So the referees sort things out.
So
Doesn't look like we're going to get any penalties.
after that start of the game, where we're talking 11 seconds goal, we've got 20-7 shots now. Wow, in favor of the Boston Bruins, and they've really started tilting the ice in their favor. So I know you've got 1:24 left here in the first period, but you need to start feeling a little bit better.
About your first period if you're the Tampa Bay Lightning, and even if it's just this last shift or two, so be it.
And as you mentioned, the Bruins come into this game without their two top centers. There's a chance to the net, turned aside by Swayman. Lindholm out, Elias Lindholm is out, as is Pavel Zacha. Nonetheless, the Bruins with the lead, 3-1. Tampa Bay now looking to strike. There's a shot. Goes off the glass. Behind the net, eluded Kucherov, up the wall. Puck comes free, up in the air in the corner. Askarov throws it up the wall, kept in by a pinching Moser. 40 seconds left in the period. Pass across, couldn't be handled there by Kucherov. The puck flipped out of the zone. And the Lightning play it back. Now over the blue line, it's Moser. He's going to go for a change. Lohrei in the corner. Puck comes up the wall, deflected. Behind the net, 20 seconds to go in the period. Here is Arvidsson with it. Arvidsson to center, dumps it in. Played by Vasilevsky. 10 seconds left in the period. Puck flipped back into the zone by the Bruins behind the net. Played there by McDonough, and that should do it for period number 1.
So we are getting ready for period number 2. Both these teams have been just red hot coming into this game. Since the calendar flipped to 2026,
Bruins are 11-2-1. The Lightning 11-1-1. So these points are valuable to Atlantic Division rivals. And we're underway here in the middle stanza. Bruins quickly to the attack again. A chance there by Arvidsson, got blocked. Goes behind the net.
Interesting. Looks like Jake Gensel's playing center on this top line.
So we'll have to keep an eye on that bench. And there down goes Arvidsson. No call there as the puck goes all the way down. Keep an eye and see if there's anything missing on that bench, Rupper, for Tampa, or if it's just the line change. Puck comes to Kucherov off his stick, chops at it. Puck comes up the wall to Pastrnak, long stretch ahead, goes all the way down. Shiki was able to get there, so there was no icing. Lightning gain possession of the puck and start the other way. Looks like Anthony Cirelli is in the locker room right now, so we'll keep an eye on that. Did see Cooper talking to one of the trainers as we had the camera on there. That's usually trying to get maybe an update on what the likelihood of Cirelli being back. So we'll keep looking to see if he does return. Of course, he's not only a member of the Lightning, but a member of Team Canada at the upcoming Olympic Games.
Do on this run, but Zadorov has really had an awesome season so far this year.
Shot through traffic, goes wide on the short side. Lightning now looking to make a play. Here's a chance, just missed the net there. Max Crozier coming down. Another chance to the net, stopped by Swayman, and he holds on.
Crozier had a good look.
Little turnaround there. John Cooper wants to get a spark, so he goes back to that top line again. Hit their second shift, first couple minutes. And they're buzzing on that one as you see Kucherov tries to do and get that deflection on that.
Bruins having a little chit-chat as to what they want to do off this draw. Kastelic will take it for the Bees. He loses
It to Nick Paul. Shot from the point, off the pad of Swayman. Aspero behind the net, gets it to McAvoy. McAvoy up the wall. Bounces around the neutral zone. Lightning trying to come the other way. Nick Paul chasing it down. Delivers a blow behind the net. McAvoy clears it ahead. Kastelic couldn't get away from Hedman. Now throws it through. Opportunity in the net. And Patra scores on the backhand. Oh, a sweet backhand by Matt Patra.
And the Boston Bruins keep the good times rolling. Patra's first of the season, and the Bruins leading 4-1.
I mean, this is a big-time shot. We see Patra, who's getting an opportunity with these injuries as well. Second game of the season, and puts it right inside the elbow. I mean, that is an effortless backhand that beats a big-time goalie high glove.
Great look at it there, Mike, from ice level. So Vasilevsky, it's the first time.
That's the first goal for Patra since November the 2nd, 2024. But 4 goals against Vasilevsky, that's not easy to do.
No, it just
Hasn't given up 3, Mike, in a game since early January.
they almost have 2 full periods left.
So the Bruins, after that quick start by the Bolts, scoring 11 seconds in, have scored 4 times to take a commanding 4-1 lead and silence this crowd at Raymond James Stadium. Peak fires it up and out of the zone. Crozier will chase back. Puck on the wall, they battle, it comes loose. Hagel drops it, there's a shot, just goes wide, and now down on the ice there was Carlisle. He bounces up.
See Brandon Hagel trying to stir it up, so that's what you're going to see here from Tampa, to see if they can get under the skin a little bit of the Boston Bruins. And this is the goal. We see Kastelic kind of getting up ice and getting in a puck battle that he wins. Makes a beautiful backhand pass, and then even a better backhand finish by Patra. Woo!
That was sweet.
That was. And give a lot of credit to Kastelic, though, in that open ice. Wow, that shot just missed Yanni Gourde's head. So give a lot of credit to Kastelic on that goal for the work he did in winning that puck battle.
So the last time that Vasilevsky gave a 4 or more in any game, got to go back to December 20th, 2025. Well, more than a month ago with a 6-4 win.
So the Boston Bruins put the wood to the Bolts and to Vasilevsky. The fans a little antsy here at Raymond James Stadium. Minton brings it over. Middlestat throws it back through. Another good look by Arvidsson, and that puck got deflected over the net. Arvidsson's been everywhere, Mike.
He has been. He's getting in there on the forecheck, and that's the thing with Victor Arvidsson that has been so impressive in his career. Not very big, but he's pretty fearless in the way he goes about his business.
There's Darren Radish to center. Wires it in. Slowed down there by Swayman. McAvoy. Gets it back over to Aspero. McAvoy, long stretch ahead. Goes all the way down, no ice. Puck comes up to Yanni Gourde. Throws it ahead, and here come the Lightning. Puck knocked into the corner. Good work there by the Bruins, and they were able to clear it out. Not much sustained zone time in this game for the Lightning.
No, I mean, haven't had really turning over shifts. And that's so important to grab a hold of momentum, because right now, okay, you're down in this game 4-1. I think the worst thing to do is to go out there and think, I have to score this shit. Let's ruin all these fans' days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a nice road game.
There's a chance to the net. Just deflected wide. Another chance from a bad angle, and fought off by Swayman. Comes into the neutral zone. Lightning will play it back. Victor Hedman will reverse it. And for Victor Hedman, it's his first game in almost 2 months, Mike. That's another thing. It's just not always easy to jump in.
No, it's not. He's, I mean, he looks fine in this. I mean, there's nothing really that was jumping out to me on Victor Hedman, but it's hard to expect him to be a force in his first game back, I guess is a good way of putting it.
Here's Janot with it now. Just also it changes the lineup, right? It changes who's in and what their role is.
Yeah, I mean, this team was 16-1-1, and now you have to change something up. I get it. He's your captain, and he's your
chance in that. Stop by Vasilevsky, and now we're going to get some pushing and shoving in front.
Janot is in there. Crozier. Patra is dealing along the other side. There's Kastelik with Bjorkstrand.
Now I give Bjorkstrand and Crozier credit because they're pushing back in this game, and I like that. But this is an area where the Boston Bruins are going to win every time with Kastelik, Janot on the ice. I mean, they big bodies. You see this play going to the net, just stopping in front. I like Kastelik. Get in there, stop in the blue paint. If anybody comes to move you out, lean into them a little bit. So the Bruins have this nastiness to them this year. So in games where teams want to try to push certain buttons, they're welcoming it.
Tanner Janot, he signed a free agent deal on July the 1st, 2025. A 5-year deal at $3.4 million. And a lot of people were wondering about that deal, but he's kind of fit in nicely with the Bruins. And remember, Tampa Bay acquired him from Nashville, traded a whole bunch of draft picks to get him. 5 draft picks of Cal Foot to get him.
He only ended up playing 75 games with the Bolts. 18 points, just didn't work.
No, it didn't. And remember when he signed on with the Bruins, he said, I have a lot to prove. And you remember his first year, oh, big hit there. Oh,
another one.
There we go. Remember his first year in Nashville?
Oh, yeah.
They had 20, didn't he?
Yeah.
25, 24 goals, somewhere in that range.
A lot of fights, and he was just an old school power forward.
He can do it.
Middlestat trying to dance around Moser, couldn't do it, takes him hard into the corner. But it seems like, you know, that contract, which we thought, 5 years, 3.4, it's a lot for a guy who hasn't done much lately. Maybe it'll be a good deal for the Bruins. Maybe he'll just be a Bruins player and a guy that fits in their team as a bottom 6 player.
They have that identity, though, of what that team is. And it starts with Zadorov, and then you go to him, Kastelik. You can go on and on with this group. They're difficult to play against now. Sean Corrali. You talk about Steves hitting everything that moves now. Easymont's a pain in the butt to play against.
And here he is, Easimont with a shot fought off by Vasilevsky. Easimont, another player that spent some time with the Lightning. Puck comes up high, D to D. Aspero tries to throw it down the wall. He's another good story. Like Jonathan Aspero didn't even play in the National Hockey League until this year, and he's a plus 21 coming into the game today, playing alongside Charlie McAvoy.
Not bad, huh? Playing on the top D pair for a team that's thriving. That's a great sign.
Here's a good opportunity, stopped by Swayman. And we get a little battle in front. Gergens is in there. Referees quickly get in. Good look there by the Lightning. His last 14 starts coming into this one, 13-0-1. Last regulation loss, December the 18th to the LA Kings, and that was 2-1. So he's been lights out good. Tonight it's been a struggle. There's a chance. Swayman turns it aside. Jeremy Swayman, after a very tough first goal, has been good.
Certainly has. I didn't know how that would, first shot going in.
Could shake you up, right?
Yeah, 11 seconds in.
And here comes Boston, a 2-on-1. They have an opportunity. There's a chance, and they score! It's Morgan Geekie! His second of the game!
And the Bruins continue to roll. It's 5-1.
That's that pass we see all the time by David Pastrnak, where he is on his forehand side. He just does this little curling of the wrist. and finds that seam. And usually Geeky kind of stops up to get that seam. You can see him open up and then slides it right over. I mean, you know, it's almost like you know it's coming, EJ, but you can't really do anything about it because the execution is so on point.
That is where you said it. Great execution there. Here's another terrific look. Oh.
So again, I mean, not to totally let Andre Vasilevsky off the hook. You've got a side-to-side one-timer to a guy that's got now 33 goals, 32 goals on the season. I mean,
there's a chance to the net. Knocked away. 32 goals on the season, 2 today. And Mike, it's not that maybe that we're such good luck, but we did interview Morgan Geeky before the game.
We did.
So we might have brought him a little touch of good tiding, and we got a whistle on a hand pass. We're going to face off at center.
I mean, they might be wearing these Patriot
Costumes for every game moving forward.
In the run up to the game. Here's a look at this goal again, and you know, Husadinov makes a nice play there as he kind of kicks it forward, and then it's a 2-on-1.
Yeah, he does that.
Even the way he kind of gets in the way. Yeah, I love that. I love that kind of slowed down, ate the lane.
Look around. We got a 2-on-1. Just let me slow you down so you can
get back and get a stick on it.
So Husadinov will get an assist, as will Pastrnak. Just a beautiful pass, Mike. Great job by you breaking down Pastrnak with just what an elite player he is. And, you know, that's the old thing, like Larry Robinson, a guy you've been around in your career, talked about when players go down, like, you know, really, Darren Radish, he went down, he tried to make a good play there, but the great players find that space, and that was just a great pass.
Yeah, I'm never going to criticize guys for going down and making that read because their coaching staff may allow that.
That's right, exactly. It's the way they're taught.
Yeah, me personally, I don't think it leaves you in the best position as you see a little back and forth there between Girgensons and McAvoy.
Individual battle.
Here's the thing. If it's me or a fourth line guy, maybe you could, and I'm not trying to cut myself here, but maybe you can risk going down and taking away time on ice. David Pastrnak, if you're leaving your feet, you better be absolutely sure you could break up that play. He is far too talented, and he will make the play around.
You want him to shoot, and you know, that's the sad part. He can beat you with that too, so it's a tricky spot. And then you had Geeky on the other side, but they executed that one, and they have the 5-1 lead, but now a penalty to McAvoy.
And the Tampa Bay Lightning will get a chance here on the power play maybe to get back in this game. Bruins are able to clear that one all the way down the ice. Second power play chance for the Lightning in this game. The first one was only 5 seconds. They gained the zone. No word on Anthony Cirelli yet as that puck gets cleared back out to the neutral zone. Cirelli was in the locker room after the first period, has not returned to this point. We'll look for a word on whether he'll be back in this game or not. Puck comes across. They get to their set. Guentzel down to the goal line. Kucherov across. Keep the puck alive up there. Comes back to Kucherov. Back to Radish. Kucherov to the goal line. Guentzel taking a look. Back to Kucherov. Up high. Kind of floated off his stick a little bit. Took a chop from Kastelik. Now it comes back across. Guentzel throws through. They try to get a deflection in front as Hagel was right there, but just couldn't finish. Kucherov back to the goal line. Guentzel tries the same play to the front. A battle, and then they score. Coming in, and now we get a little bit of an altercation. And here we go. In the corner, everybody's involved.
Saw that shot after the goal. But in Kastelik, he is kind of initiating this stuff all game here for the Boston Bruins.
And it was Bjorkstrand who came in and then was able to pop that puck into the top of the net.
We'll get another look at it here, Mike. See a little bit of a scrum here as that puck tries that same play you mentioned, DJ. Awesome finish here by Bjorkstrand, and this is an extra shot by Kastelik. I'd have to assume that he's going to have an extra one here.
And Hagel came in hard, and then there's Big Zadorov. I don't think I want anything to do with him.
No. So here you go. I mean, you want to play tough, you want to play hard, but they get a power play goal, and now all of a sudden you got another power play here for the Tampa Bay Lightning.
So Oliver Bjorkstrand gets the Lightning on the board with the power play goal. They're going to go back to the power play when we come back. So Oliver Bjorkstrand with his 8th goal of the season on the power play has got the Tampa Bay Lightning back on the board. They're down 3, and Mike, they're going to go back to the power play as Kastelik, as you accurately predicted, got the penalty in that scrum. And so Tampa Bay will have another power play chance.
And that's the thing with Bjorkstrand. He's not the guy you'd actually anticipate maybe getting under the skin of the opponent, but we saw him earlier go after Zadorov. He's smiling at everybody, kind of getting involved there. He did something because Kastelik wanted a piece of him after that goal.
And this is a huge opportunity here for the Tampa Bay Lightning.
And Kastelik is a penalty killer. So him being out, that changes the dynamic on the penalty kill a little bit. So we'll see if the Bulls can take advantage again. Puck goes down the wall.
So that backdoor pass has been open twice now. See if they resort back to that.
And there's an opportunity. There's Kucherov's shot. Deflected, goes to Gensel, goes back up to Kucherov. Kucherov winds, fires through a screen. And now we're going to mix it up in front. Now Swayman's high. And he tackles one of the players. And now let's see Vasilevsky starts skating. He stops at center.
And now Swayman looking at Vasilevsky, and now it ain't gonna go. Here we go. We got a goalie fight. Bring it on, boys. The masks are off. Oh, baby. Vasilevsky with a couple of lefts. They're going. And now the linesman get in there. Break it up. Those guys are too important. And then look at that smiling.
Well, you only get one chance at it sometimes. Love it. Jeremy Swayman didn't care at all. Andre Vasilevsky, I love what he did. But here, listen to this place right now. They're chanting Vassy. You need more energy. You need the team to fuel off that. Let's see what this could do for the Tampa Bay Lightning.
We saw this in Florida a couple of weeks ago. Nedeljkovic we'll get to it in a second, but there's where it starts with that stick in front by Hagel.
He knocks the puck free. So he saw it just sitting on top. It wasn't a covered puck.
And here we go. The stick got still got a stick. I know. Get that stick out of there.
That's probably why he's mad. That's probably Hagel's stick stuck in his bag.
Bongoli fighting for fighting.
Oh boy.
So here's the good thing for the goaltenders is there's no other fights or what were deemed as fights, so you're not going to have any ejections from the game here. But the beauty of being a goaltender and fighting is you remain in the game.
So to get the point earlier I was trying to make with the goalies, and it happened here in the state of Florida. It was Sergei Bobrovsky and Alex Nedeljkovic in a game between the Sharks and the Florida Panthers, and that was only a couple of weeks ago. And then here we go again, and there's the super slow-mo. That Vasilevsky working that left, Mike.
So he
caught him with that left.
Usually you know who's righties and lefties because you've seen them fight before, but you have no idea with Vassy. I love it. Give credit to both the guys.
And then Swayman is now going back to his net. He went over. He might have like dinged up his finger or something. He went to the trainer on the bench, and he has. Look at the bench. These guys are dying. Oh, here he is. Yeah, and there he is, Andre Vasilevsky, a man of all sports. Football, hockey, boxing, you name it.
I mean, that might not be for everyone, but I personally loved it, and 60,000 people loved it in here. Still got this power play here.
Yeah, so it's a wash on the penalties based on the scoreboard. We'll try to sort that out for you. See the referee talking to kind of hard to take John Cooper very seriously. Mike.
Yeah.
Referees are talking to him when he's wearing this, gangster outfit on the bench. It isn't on, and it has to be a little strange.
Yes, I love the lightning charm on his necklace.
Yes, that's the thing. And then the assistant coach is wearing similar outfits, only in black jackets. There you can see a look there. So we got the penalties on that play. Hagel got a slashing penalty, McAvoy got a roughing penalty, and then the 2 fighting penalties for the goalies. And they're showing the fight again on the big screen here, and they're sorting things out. It looks like they have finally got them sorted. And so at the end of the day, it'll still be a Tampa power play, and the fans reacting to Vasilevsky scoring with that left hand.
So we are back to hockey. The Lightning are back to their power play. 8 minutes and 50 seconds counting down here in the second period. Bruins with the 5-2 lead. They try to clear, can't get it out. Radish up high. Gets it back. Kucherov to the goal line. Gets it back from Genzel. Kucherov to the middle. Shot deflected by Paul, but then cleared down the ice.
You saw Kucherov just trying to get that high deflection from Nick Paul.
Tampa now will fire it in. 38 seconds and counting on the power play. And now Fraser Minton takes it. Just fires it in. Vasilevsky turns it aside. 25 seconds left on the power play. Lightning trying to enter the zone. Radish with it. Throws it down to the corner. Nobody there to retrieve it. And it's just cleared easily down the ice. Vasilevsky plays it to Radish. Penalty clock ticking down. Final 5 seconds of the power play chance. Bruins clear behind the net. Tick, tick, tick. Power play is over. Kaslik out of the box. Passed him a little too far. Comes all the way down. We're going to get a whistle and an icing. Shot by Hedman. Gets blocked. And Kaslik will come the other way. Kaslik on the off wing, driving to the net. The puck is free, but taken out of the crease there by Victor Hedman calmly, and he moves it up the ice.
That was a very strong take by Mark Kaslik. Almost got it to go.
If you were wondering why the Boston Bruins have been playing so well, you watch this game, you see why. They're getting contributions, Mike, from all kinds of players.
Yeah, they are. They are. They're a depth team. And when you look at their roster at the beginning of the season, I, for one, thought that didn't know where their goals were going to come from. Well, everywhere. They got everybody contributing at different times.
Puck comes around the wall. Lohrei fires it right back below the goal line. Lohrei gets it back. Down below the goal line again. Pastrnak in front. Tries to squeeze it by. He makes a strong play from behind the net, and Vasilevsky stopped it, and now Moser's going to mix it up with Geekie.
You weren't supposed to drive offense from the wing like these guys can do.
Well, 2 of the outstanding players in the league, and Pastrnak, talking to some of the Bruins, it was Pastrnak who had the biggest impression on going with those colonial look garb. Well, that shot is stopped by Swayman for their entry tonight. He's just got a big personality. One of those guys, there's not too many bad days, and that one goes up and...
You got a penalty coming here.
Yeah, goes out of play. Just going to say, finishing the thought, not too many bad days for David Pastrnak.
Boston #1, minor penalty, delay game, puck over the glass.
So we will get a power play opportunity for the Lightning when we return. So the puck over glass penalty, delay game. So Lightning get another power play chance. Here's Kucherov with a shot stopped by Swayman, and he holds on. And to your point about Swayman, he was the goaltender for Team USA at the World Championships. His performance, he helped them win their first gold medal in some 90 years in that tournament. And the final, I believe, was 1-0.
Yeah, and if I recall, he was.
We're going to get another penalty now. And this is going to be on the Bruins as well, I think. Let's see.
I think we got a Tampa trip.
I saw it. Let's see. Yeah, the Bruin box door is opening.
Boston penalty number 84, 2 minutes for interference.
So we have reached a turning point here in this game potentially, Mike, because this is going to be a long 5-on-3. Here's a look.
Jake Guentzel gets pulled down there.
Might have helped that one along a little bit. Crowded in that Bees box.
Yeah, maybe a little bit there.
Hey, listen, you're not cheating, you're not trying.
No, this is the moment, though.
Yeah, right? You got to get one if you're Tampa. 5-on-3 for $1.48. Off the draw, Tampa wins it. They look to get to their set. They get a quick change on the ice. Guentzel on the goal line, up to Kucherov. Radish. There's Hagel, back to Radish, over to Kucherov. Taking a look. Radish down low. He tried to feed that one into Guentzel. Back up high. Here's Hagel, cross shot. Turned back by Swayman. It went to the corner. Kucherov with it. Back to Radish. He fires, stop. Another chance gets deflected back to Radish. Kucherov to the goal line. Guentzel back to Kucherov to the middle. Back to Guentzel, takes a look. He fires, stopped. It's in the crease. It's loose, and then Swayman grabs it and he holds on.
And Lindholm mixing it up there with Guentzel.
That puck was sitting in the open there. Tampa couldn't jump on it. This puck movement. See, just throw it on net and then crash it. Sean Kuraly did it. Good job of boxing out as Swayman then finds the puck and hops on it. Jeez.
So a minute left now on the 2-man advantage. Swayman standing tall thus far. Paul out to take the draw for Tampa. Circle is Kuraly for the Bruins.
Tampa wins the faceoff. They get to their set. Big shot there, goes up over the net, out of play. Here's a quick chance. Swayman sticks it to the corner. Puck comes loose, picked up by the Lightning, wound around the outside. 5-on-3 advantage. Kucherov looks, fires, deflects to the corner. Gets it back. Winds again, fakes. There's Radish with a shot, stopped by Swayman. He holds on.
He gets a rolling puck. He's trying to give it everything he can into it.
There, guys get tied up. Puck underneath. Kuraly tries to hand pass it, and now we're going to get hand on the puck. We get another penalty here. Off the face-off, the Lightning get it. It's a 2-man advantage. Big drive, and they score! Radish with a rocket!
And the Bolts have cut the lead to 5-3. One of the hardest shooting defensemen in the entire National Hockey League, and you can see it on that one. Kucherov, flat pass, puts it on a tee for Darren Radish, who adds to his career year, puts this one under the blocker of Jeremy Swayman. How about the flash screen there by Nick Paul as well? Swayman did not see a thing. Good execution. And he's still in the power play.
And it's still 5-on-3 for another 26 seconds.
And then they will continue to have the man advantage for the 2-minute penalty that just begun on Kuraly. So here's Radish again. Kucherov. Radish back to Kucherov to the goal line. Thrown in front, and they score again! Deflected home in front! Nick Paul! And it's 5-4!
The Boston Bruins were shading Darren Radish's shot so much that they left open in front Nick Paul's stick. So that last goal that was scored, look how far Husadinov gets stretched out. He's too far up with Radish. And then it just gets too many bodies in the net there for the Tampa Bay Lightning, and they capitalize again. And we saw that pass a couple times. I think it was Brandon Hagel, Jake Gensel earlier on in the power play. A little bit of a backdoor. Put your stick on the ice and see what happens.
So the Lightning remain on the power play for another minute and 28 seconds. And with the deluge of goals or power play goals, what was once a 5-1 Bruin lead is now 5-4. Tampa Bay looking to gain the zone again. Radish with it, down the wall. Kucherov, Radish fires! And that one just goes over the net. So we've got ourselves a hockey game here in a football stadium. Shot by Kucherov, stopped by Swayman. Kucherov again, Radish another drive. That one's blocked and cleared. Just barely over the blue line. Kaslik took that shot and was able to get it out of the zone, but not far. And now Paul is with it again. Nick Paul. Here's Kucherov, tries to throw it through, cleared but not out. Radish with it. 30 seconds and counting on the power play. Radish up high. Kucherov to the goal line. Gensel takes a look. Kucherov up high. Crowd getting into it here. Back to Kucherov. 15 seconds left on the power play. Shot blocked, comes right back. Radish with it. Under 10 seconds on the power play. Hagel pushed back. Hagel. Power play ends, but here's Kucherov to the front. Shot blocked. Back at even strength. Bruins try to get it out. And the puck finally does come out of the zone. So for the second time this season, the Lightning have scored 3 power play goals in a single game. The Bruins now looking to battle back. Peak with a shot, that's blocked. Second shot goes wide. Zadorov, he winds and fires. That one misses on the short side. Husadinov gets it up high. And that one is just outside the zone. We got a whistle and an offside. Let me ask you this. Do you think Pete could have done a better job getting under Nick Paul's stick? Or is Nick Paul just too strong? So the Bolts now out of the zone. Final 80 seconds of period number 2, and it has been a wild period. A bunch of goals, a goalie fight, a lot of penalties. It's been a scrap. And what does Charlie McAvoy say in that commercial, Mike? It's a scrum. This game has been a scrum.
It has been.
And we know AI doesn't know what a scrum is. Minute left to go in the period. The battle in the corner. A little bit of a scrum in that corner. Comes the other way. And then knocked back behind the net. Here's Yanni Gourde. Yanni Gourde leaves it off. Thrown in front. Good chance. Big stop. Right there. Great opportunity.
By Pontus Holmberg, he just throws his head back and looks to the sky. Great chance in front, and Swayman robbed it.
The whole thing happens. You got Chernak that holds the puck in to keep this alive, and then there's the look to Holmberg. They kind of the pass just kind of surprised everybody getting all the way through, but Swayman, this hits him square. I don't think Holmberg got the location he exactly wanted. And Jeremy Swayman's a big boy who covered a lot.
Great read by Swayman, though, Mike. He was right there. He was right on it. I always feel that's an underrated part of goaltending, is the ability to read plays and get to spots maybe before you normally would.
Not overcommitting and being all in, just
knowing,
playing your percentages, and he looks very calm in net.
You said it. There's 9 goals in this game. I don't know if I blame the goalies for many of them.
No, I wouldn't.
Tampa,
Plus,
the dying seconds.
They gave us fights too, so I'm not going to.
Yeah, that's true. That's right. Final 10 seconds, counting down. You can see Tampa with a wide shot advantage in this period. Good job there by Minton. It goes to the corner. They did get a shot, but Swayman was on it. Now we have one little battle. One more battle before the end of the period. As you can see, Darren Radish was in front of the net talking to Swayman.
Swayman skating out, bumping into guys. He's feeling it.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. You know what? You got no Anthony Cirelli. Doesn't look like there's going to be a return by him. That hit by Kastelik, I believe, in the neutral zone was shoulder on shoulder. A solid hit, but hurt him. So there's a center ice issue as far as depth for Tampa right now. We'll see how they manage it here in the third period.
So we're underway in period number 3. Thanks to hockey fans around the globe, wherever you may be watching this one this evening. It's an entertaining affair between the Bruins and Lightning. We get a shot, and so will Andrei Vasilevskiy. And we found out something tonight, Mike. Vasilevskiy's a lefty. He can throw with that left hand.
It might be the first time there's a record of it, so everybody knows. So tread lightly down the road if you want to challenge Andrei Vasilevskiy, but all joking aside, I mean, this is setting up to be a entertaining third period.
And it was funny, we were just talking to Julien Brisebois, the general manager of the Tampa Bay Lightning, and you asked him, did you know Vasi was a lefty? He goes, now we do.
Now we do.
And he said what most managers would say as well. He goes, I'm just glad he didn't get dinged up, right? And that's a fear for both sides. You know, we think these things are entertaining, but let's face it, neither team wants to lose their star goalie in that manner.
No. You ideally don't want your goaltenders fighting.
No.
So that's why you don't see it too often, and you don't want them doing it multiple times. But this one was a little bit different.
So now Tampa Bay fires the puck in. Swayman is out to play it. Leaves it for Lorei. Takes a bump from Gord. Now the puck gets flipped into the neutral zone.
I will say this, in this game, I know the penalties in that second period, you had Boston killing a lot of that period. But I've been very impressed with the Bruins in this game. When they've been playing 5-on-5 hockey, they've controlled a lot, and this is coming from a team. We talk about center ice depth coming into this game without Lindholm, without Zacha. I mean, you have Kusadinov that's got to play center. Fraser Mitten's moving up. You got Patra playing his second game of the season. Like, this is not a strength of theirs coming into this game, but you wouldn't know 5-on-5. My experience playing in 2 of them, it just gets worse as the game goes on. So whatever level that's to be determined by each event and where it's at. But so keep an eye on that. If you got to simplify in this third period, if you see players falling down, I mean, different things from that nature. This ice is seeing something this ice hasn't seen before.
Puck played by Swayman up the wall. Bruins now looking to come out of their end. Keith just swipes at it, and it goes all the way around the outside, along the dash. Battle in the corner. Good job there by Eyssimont, but now Tampa Bay comes away with the puck. James throws it across. Kucherov pulls up, maintains control, swerves free, kept alive by Gensel below the dot, below the goal line to Hagel. He gets spun around. Puck cleared out to the neutral zone.
Thought that was a penalty. I just don't know if you're going to get many calls against the Bruins. It's going to have to be very deserved, because they've had all those opportunities for the Lightning in this game already.
And that is part of it sometimes, Mike, right? I mean, you played long enough to know that guys just usually don't keep calling penalties against the same team.
Yeah, some people might think that that's a broken part of the game, and I understand that. You got an argument, but there's a game play to be had, and you don't want to be the decision maker if you're the referee. And yeah, as this game goes on, you kind of want this to be settled out here. So I think it's going to have to be a very egregious penalty to get called here.
See, the Bruins almost get caught with an extra guy on the ice there, but quick to jump back over the bench and now try to move it on the attack. Puck comes free. Holmberg comes to center. Leaves it off to Girgensons. Girgensons drives through, back to Holmberg, gets it back. Here's a chance. Turned aside. So Ryan McDonough came in and got that opportunity. Eric Chernak moves it ahead. Bruins will chase back. Peak. Zadorov let it go through. Now James is on it. Dominic James. Puck bounces around. Up high, thrown down the wall. Nick Paul spinning away. Holding on the backhand. Paul to the front. His backhand shot stopped in front. It's loose and then cleared to the corner. Pile up in front of the net. Swayman was able to keep it out. Pastrnak somehow holds on to the puck despite 4 different Tampa Bay Lightning players swinging by him. Finally, he does lose it. Puck chipped in behind Swayman. Aspero leaves it for McAvoy. Moves it ahead. Carlisle jumps in and fires it back into the Bruin zone. Here's Hagel with a shot. Stopped by Swayman, and we'll get a stoppage. Off the draw, shot stopped by Swayman. He fought that one off. Another shot deflected. It comes back the other way. Chasing it down is Patra. Goaltender Vasilevskiy couldn't play it. It was outside the trapezoid. Comes up high. Here's Lohrei now. He pulls up. Watched by James. Shot blocked. Lohrei throws it off the boards behind the net. Jeannot. Crozier is there for Tampa. The puck squirts free. Picked up by James, who takes a high hit. And now the Bruins on the attack again. Lohrei jumping in. Kuzadinov in the mix there. Jeannot in there. And now Carlisle comes the other way for Tampa. It's a heavy line, Mike.
They know what they need to do out there. You mentioned that high hit from Pastrnak. He's been throwing the weight around. Had a couple offensive chances. He's been all over the ice in this game.
Peak throws it down below the goal line. Pastrnak spins and throws it through Kuzadinov, who just couldn't make a play on it. And now Gore just flips it up in the air and out. So 5-on-5, Mike, the Bruins continue to have the better of things.
Yeah, they're just the zone time, the possession time. I mean, Tampa just kind of has one and dones in the offensive zone, and that's not the case for the Bruins.
They're playing down a forward. Anthony Cirelli left the game after being taking a hit from Kastelik in the first period. He will not return. Here's Arvidsson the other way, one-on-one. He gets squeezed off and shoved into the boards. Chernak taking care of that business. There's Victor Hedman, the captain. Back in the lineup tonight, first game since December the 9th. Looking forward to be part of Team Sweden at the upcoming Winter Olympic Games in Milan. Aspero was able to steal that puck. It comes to Arvidsson, who just chips it in. 8 minutes gone by here in the third. Bruins clinging to that 5-4 lead. They were up 5-1. Within 3 power play goals by the Lightning. They've cut it to 1. Swayman playing it behind the net. Lindholm up the wall to Steves. He's got a goal in this game for Boston. Eyssimont with it, throws it through. Nobody home. Lindholm down the wall, throws it in front. Backhand by Corrali. Couldn't squeeze it by Vasilevsky. Kept in by the Bees. Eyssimont. That shot deflects up over the glass and out of play. We get a stoppage. Yep.
This is a big, big game, not just because of the ceremony and what we have here. I mean, these two teams have been hot and fought to get to where they're at in the standings, and it's still tight.
Every 2-point matters throughout the National Hockey League, but certainly in that Atlantic Division.
Because everybody's winning. Well, except Toronto. I said to throw that one in.
Well, even they won a shootout in Vancouver on Saturday night. So
they won their last game.
That's right. But it's tight. Points are in high demand. Bruins trying to close this out in regulation.
But still, you'd love to come back for the obvious reasons of being on home ice in front of all these great fans, but at the same rate, start padding that lead in first place.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Tampa has played fewer games than most of the teams in the division. They played 52. Detroit's in second place. They played 56. Now here's a chance toward the net. Glove down by Swayman. He'll get a whistle mixed in there.
Yeah. So yes, it's good for you for standings purposes, but you're going to be playing a lot of hockey when some of the teams might not be playing anywhere near as much.
And another thing for the Tampa Bay Lightning is a lot of their players, their coach, and a lot of their players are going to be part of the Olympic Games. So, you know, that's going to be taxing on the body as well. Bolts now get it to center. James chips it ahead. Hagel behind the net. Gonsalves. And now we get a hand pass.
They're power plays, but I'm not sure how much of a game this is without those power plays for Tampa.
Well, for the record, the largest comeback win in an outdoor game was 3 goals, and that was a couple of years back, the 2024 Stadium Series at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. The Rangers rallying to win that game in overtime over the Islanders. Tampa Bay trying to better that. If they could come back and win this game, they will have come back from 4 down. They're going to have to mount some offense here in the third period. Boston's done a good job of keeping them at bay. Boston stacking it up in the neutral zone right now, Mike.
Yeah, look at this. I mean, you're
5 guys in the neutral zone.
Back.
Here comes James with speed, walking through all of them. His shot stopped by Swayman. At a sporting event, people, you know, they're having a good time one way or the other. I will not be one of those people.
I would have a good time with my shirt on still.
Yeah, and my jacket. And maybe another 2 layers.
I'd be having a great time.
Yeah. Here's Kucherov now down the off-wing side, throws it back. Puck goes back behind the net. Nice play by Gensel. Tried to get it through to Kucherov. They go low to high, D to D. One-time opportunity, and they score! Kucherov took the pass from Ryan McDonagh and buries the one-timer, and we got a tie hockey game. It's 5-5.
I mean, this pass was on the money, but how about the shot? Because look at everybody clears out here. And there's no screen, no deflection. This angle is going to be great. Kucherov wires this thing. And I've said this, and I'll say it again. I think he's got one of the best short side shots in the one-timers in the National Hockey League. And you can see it right there. 4 points in the game for Nikita Kucherov.
28th goal of the season, and you know what I like Mike there? He kind of shoved off
Steves a little bit there to create a little more space. And boy, he thread the needle.
He can get nasty. We know that.
Oh, yeah.
And I love that part about him. He is a world-class talent that's got a little bite to his game, and he saw it there.
So the Tampa Bay Lightning down 5-1 midway through the second period have come all the way back. And on the strength of that Kucherov goal on a great pass from Ryan McDonagh, we are tied at 5.
Now, that's an incredible shot. I said how much I love his is one-timer, short side. Jeremy Swayman's got to save that one. That's the one he's got to have. It was a lot of ice for that pass to go across. I get it, but Nikita Kucherov was out there pretty far ways, and there's no sight lines obstructed.
He created that little space for himself. McDonough put it right through there. He just teed it up for him. But, you know, I would tend to agree with you. I mean, he didn't have to move that far. It was a predictable play. But a great shot. Swayman couldn't get it. And we got a tie hockey game. The crowd get into it here at Raymond James.
He's still my goalie for Team USA. Don't let, that doesn't change it.
That's okay. Listen, I'm with you. I'm with you. I mean, the choices are Ottinger, Hellebuck, and Swayman. And, you know, listen, he's played as well as anybody.
He's been so good.
And just because you decide, Mike Rupp, when you take over the team in Milan, to start with, it doesn't mean you have to finish with them, right?
That's true. That is true.
I've seen Olympics where Curtis Joseph was the starter and then Marty Brodeur was the starter.
That's a great point. Look at this, a little more physicality and buzz right now for Tampa, so feeding off it.
I mean, this is, you couldn't have drawn it up really as a more entertaining game. I'm sure if you're a Lightning fan, you never want to be down 5-1. But they've come back, they rode a hot power play, and, you know, to be fair to the Bruins, it's 2 of those are 5-on-3 goals.
Yeah.
So they're hard to defend. But you can't take penalties, and those were penalties that the Bruins took. I mean, Kasteluk really started it off with that penalty after the goal. There's a shot by Pastrnak, stopped by Vasilevsky.
Yeah, it wasn't necessary.
Yeah. And Corrali had that, you know, he did clearly close his hand on that puck, so that's a penalty.
The trip on Pastrnak.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, they've earned their penalties, so they've given that opportunity to Tampa. Now you're sitting here, you got a dogfight with 5:15 remaining.
Here's James now to center. James down the left side, his shot gets deflected, goes up out of play.
In the 2026 Winter Classic, and then Jordan Kyrou had 4 points in 2022.
There's a shot by 19 points in that stretch. Tampa's able to get control and get it out of the zone. Chipped in. McAvoy goes back for it. Good play there by Girgensons. Gets it over to Yanni Gourde. Quick pass in front. Another shot from the wall by Moser goes wide. Tampa getting a little bottom six. Good shift here from Gourde and company. Gourde fighting off the hit there by Aspero. Broken stick there by one of the Bruins players. He heads to the bench. Stick gets knocked out of the hands of Holmberg. Aspero with it. Flips it up in the air and out. Coming up on 4 minutes to play in regulation. Tampa Bay Lightning trying to do something they've never done in their franchise history. They have never rallied from a 4-goal deficit to win a game, ever. Wow. This would be quite a night to do it. Here's a big shot stop there as McDonough with a rocket. Bruins coming the other way. Good defensive play there by Chernak. Tampa Bay just turns it right back.
Ryan McDonough on that one almost kept his undefeated outdoor game record alive himself.
Puck wound out of the zone by the Bolts. Goes all the way towards Swayman. He leaves it there for Aspero. Jonathan Aspero, Quebec native, playing his 36th NHL game tonight. 26 years old, getting a chance to play in the National Hockey League after spending the last couple of years in the American League. Puck comes free, dribbles through the slot area to the corner. Kasteluk was there. Patra comes away with it back to the point. McAvoy with a shot, goes wide. Patra battling with James. Crozier gets it over, and now the Bolts come out of the zone. Long stretch pass ahead for James, too far.
Oh, he touched that right out of the air.
Yep. This would be the 9th outdoor game to go to overtime if we get there. And heck, the way this one's gone, we could have 2 or 3 more goals before the end of regulation.
A couple more fights, all that
Why
stuff.
not? Tampa Bay again playing short a player as Cirelli left the game in the first period. Here's a break. It's in the feet of Geekie, and he just couldn't find it. Could have had a break the other way. Now it comes back for Tampa Bay. Girgensons. Holmberg in front. Girgensons tries to jam it. It's loose, goes behind the net. They go low to high. Radish shot blocked out of the zone. Now a foot race. Radish back for it. Did a nice job there of outracing Pastrnak. Under 2 minutes left in regulation. Moser in his own end. Starts the breakout. Boston, 5 guys back in the neutral zone. Here's Fraser Minton with it. Mike, do you like seeing the team play that passive in this situation?
Not really. You know, if the other team's kind of checking it up and it's a little bit of a controlled environment, I can get around that. But I don't want you to continually do that.
Yeah.
Your strongest attribute of this game, or strongest reason why you were having success, is you were aggressive, and you don't want to see it. Maybe that's the move in the last minute that we're at right now, trying to get this thing to overtime.
And there you hear the public address announcer. Last minute of play in period number 3. McAvoy wires it in. Stopped behind the net by Vasilevsky. Radish moves it over to McDonough, and ahead it comes. Puck stopped at the blue line. Boston looks to come the other way. Poitras chips it in. Here comes Jeannot. He gets in on it. Big left shot forward. Comes back to the point. Lohrei fakes. Gets it across. Shot to the net. Turned aside by Vasilevsky. Lindholm with a good opportunity there. Puck now out of the zone. 22 seconds left in regulation. Puck flipped back. Let's see behind the net. Radish with it. 15 seconds. Slowly starts up the ice. Bruins, they've got 5 guys back. Looking to protect this one for overtime. Now they turn it the other way. Puck comes all the way down. We're going to get a whistle and an icing, Mike.
So an offensive zone draw for the Tampa Bay Lightning with 5.7 seconds left in regulation.
See the face-off to the right of Jeremy Swayman, which is good because you have left-handed draw man. You got Big Paul here.
So Paul on the draw against Geekie. Now the referees with everybody settled.
Drop the puck, comes back to the point. Go across. They tried to get the one-timer off. Kuzadinov was over there, though. Did a good job reading that play, getting there, not allowing Kucherov to bag a game winner at the buzzer. And so we will indeed go to overtime, the 9th time in NHL outdoor game history.
We love it. And I'm sure we got 64,000 plus that are saying that tonight.
So we're underway in overtime, 5-minute overtime, 3-on-3. Lightning with possession, and here's Kucherov. Walking in, gets it through, gets it back. Oh, just behind him. A great opportunity. Kucherov just was, I don't know if he thought that was coming back, and now a 2-on-1 the other way. Pastrnak fakes, shoots, and he scores! Now they're waving it off. They're waving it off. So let's see why they are waving it off. Pastrnak just buried that one.
So that was, I thought that was an original.
It's like there's going to be a penalty on the
original
Bruins.
penalty, and it is. But the Bruins clearly had possession of the puck. There's no whistle. Jeremy Swayman left the net.
Yeah.
2 minutes for slashing.
Because you had the opportunity for Tampa going the other way.
But the arm goes up.
Arms up.
I mean, it's just very confusing as to what happened there. Maybe there was whistle malfunction in the cold weather. I don't know, but
Maybe.
Pastrnak gets a slashing penalty.
But correct call. It just it gets very confusing and probably frustrating because Costa ends up scoring on that shot. And then right there's that slash on Mosier as he tries to pass it over to Kucherov. Then it turns the other way, and that's where it turns into the 2-on-1.
Well, here we are, another power play for the Tampa Bay Lightning. They've got 3 power play goals in this game, and they can win it if they can get one more. Kucherov throws it through. Bjorkstrand with it. 4-on-3 power play here. Kucherov with it again, takes a look, through, chance, stopped by Swayman, rebound, and it goes over the net. Great opportunity there. Puck, they battle in the corner, behind the net. Lindholm gets it, takes a look, off the wall, out of the zone.
Some good excitement right there. They had to play Gensel on the goal line. They are stepping up the PK. I think you've got a goal line play if you want to take it quickly and just walk it to the net yourself.
Here's Hagel, walk it in, shot to the net, knocked down, goes to the corner, Hagel goes down, the puck comes loose, Tampa Bay maintains possession. Kuzminov gets out there high, but Tampa Bay is now getting to their set. There's the goal line again, comes back to Kucherov, gets it back, Gensel with a shot, that's up off the glass and out of the zone. Vasilevsky comes out to play it. Here comes Kucherov again. 41 seconds on the power play chance. Radish over to the left side to Hagel. Hagel holds to the goal line. Gets it back. Radish. Kucherov fires. Stopped by Swayman. Through to the front. Now Radish. Kucherov fires. Stopped by Swayman off the arm. 21 seconds left on the power play. Kucherov with it again. Throws it to the net. Stopped, might have hit the post.
Did, crossbar.
And Swayman just put his glove and thanked the post. Here's another drive, turned back by Swayman. 5 seconds left in the power play. Up high, Hagel. Kucherov walks down to Hagel, it's off his stick. Penalty is over, we're back even strength, 4-on-4. Goes to the goal line, chance in front. McAvoy knocked down, he's hot. Got knocked down in front, no call. Puck goes to the corner. 4-on-4 play now until we get a whistle. Puck thrown through, just couldn't connect, and out of the zone comes Moser. 2:15 left on the clock here in overtime. Here's Moser, gaining the zone. McAvoy watching Holmberg, wins the battle. Fraser Minten with it. Minten to center. Fraser Minten drops it off. Pastrnak, his shot. Wide of the net on the short side. 1:55 and counting in overtime. Still playing 4-on-4 after the penalty is expired. Here's Minten with it. Takes a look. His shot goes wide. Pastrnak couldn't handle it. It comes to Holmberg. He comes the other way. 1:40 left in overtime. Holmberg goes and chases it down in the corner. Comes up with it. Tries to get it to Gord. He does. Throws it across. Crozier back up high. Gord holds on. Leaves it. Comes back now to Carlisle. Shot blocked. Bruins gain control but turn it over. Now they get it back. Pass goes all the way down. And we're going to get a whistle and an icing with 1:13 left in overtime. With that whistle, we will go back to 3-on-3 play.
That Kucherov wrist shot looks effortless. And that got them just powering Swayman. Swayman's getting gloves on it, and this is the Kucherov shot. Goes right off the elbow.
Looks like it was deflected too there.
Yeah. I mean, it just looks like a nonchalant type of shot. It just had some good mustard on it. It does change direction.
The officials now talking to the players. There's Marco Sturm eyeballing things, working the gum. Defensive zone draw for his Bruins. 3-on-3.
Off the draw, Lightning have to chase it back, but they will have possession. They've had possession for most of the overtime. Large part of that on that power play. They just could not score. Puck comes to Swayman. He gloves it. Kucherov to be out
That's
there.
true. Fair point.
So we'll see how it plays out. Here's a chance to that. Stop, rebound in front, stopped again. Swayman coming up big in front there. Now we go the other way. Here's McAvoy down the off-wing side. Charlie McAvoy throws it in front. It's loose. Diving out for it was the goaltender Vasilevsky as he tried to knock it down. Now the puck comes to center. Clean breakaway the other way. Kucherov shoots. He stopped. Oh, big save there by Swayman, and he just grabs the puck and holds on.
Kucherov had the game on his stick, and Swayman said, "Not now."
The original one, I thought Vasi was going to get it up to him. And Kucherov's gone. He's out of the zone. They all know it. Everyone knows it. And Jeremy Swayman bails the Bruins out in overtime. Doesn't give up much there.
The last guy you want to see coming in that situation if you're the goalie.
I will say there's quite a bit of snow on the ice. And I think it was a great gamble by Swayman. I think he's thinking he's got to shoot this puck.
And he did.
And it comes to the front of the net. Now we're going to get another penalty. And we get a hooking penalty. The draw, they get the puck. Clock ticking down. Under 20 seconds to go. Looking to set it up. To the goal line in front. Puck comes to Corrali for Boston. Looking for an angle to clear, and he does. Nice job by Sean Corrali. Under 10 seconds to go here in overtime. Coming the other way. Kucherov off his stick. Hagel wide. Fires. Stopped by Swayman. He holds on. And there wasn't as the horn goes. And we head to a shootout. Just the third shootout in the history of outdoor hockey in the NHL.
Gonsalves will go first for Tampa. Comes in, takes a look, stops. Surprised at that decision? I mean, again, the coaches know who's good at these things.
Yeah, they know who's got the touches. And see him kind of taking that angle, trying to get some movement by Jeremy Swayman. Had a little bit of room there. 7-hole, but was unable to find it.
Here is Casey Middlestat, Minnesota native. Got to be familiar with a lot of outdoor hockey in Minnesota in his life. Coming in on goal, Middlestat to the middle. Backhand. No. Vasilevsky gets the pad on it.
He looked pretty smooth with this move. But then you're going to watch that left pad of Vasi. He sticks it out at that 45-degree angle. Doesn't give you much.
Now here's Kucherov. Just had a clean breakaway against Swayman a few minutes ago.
As they do the no-shot goal.
Let's see. Kucherov comes in. Stop. Tried to go backhand. He just ran out of room.
And you see Kucherov with the real nice hands. If there's someone who can pull off a deke in a situation like this, it's him. He just misses it. He had an angle there at Swayman.
The young Fraser Minton now will take an opportunity here for the Boston Bruins. Here he comes, Minton to the middle. Shoot, stopped by Vasilevsky, trying to go 5-hole.
See Minton. He's just trying to slide that one 5-hole. Jake Guentzel. Jake's got a pretty sneaky backhand. If he fakes forehand, goes backhand, he can get it upstairs pretty good.
Guentzel moving down a strong side, cuts to the middle, takes a look, shot, and scores. Jake Guentzel just snapping it and beating Swayman over the glove. Great shot.
But there is junior of the Boston Bruins.
What a location on that one.
So now it's Pastrnak. He scores, we play on. If he stopped, the Tampa Bay Lightning will do something they've never done before and rally him from a 4-goal deficit to win. Pastrnak comes in, stops, look, fakes, and it's the pipe! And it's the pipe and stays out. And the Lightning, down 5-1, come all the way back and win it 6-5 in overtime in a shootout.
What a comeback win by the Lightning. And David Pastrnak almost kept this thing alive as he rings it off the post. See, Pasta comes in, slams the break. And he got Bassey to bite. Then goes to the glove side, and Bassey's glove drops. He's got it right here and just hits the post.
Here's a great bump.
But he gets him to bite. It almost makes him commit twice. Just a tough bounce there for Pasta. He had Bassey beat.